Thank you
morning.
so much for joining me. And excitement is already building about LEDucation.
Yep.
And we just kind of want to talk a little bit about it. The sad part, obviously, this is the first one without Caroline. And
Yes.
I know that's got to be a little bit tough for you, Burt.
Yep.
But you've got a good partner here with Jamie, it looks like.
Yep. He was trained by the best.
That's right. Carolyn trained me for it. So
what do we have going on this year that's different? I know we've got new times. Tell our audience a little bit about that.
We tried to expand the schedule a little bit to take into account people who just couldn't get there earlier. That wanted to stay later or come later. It's a large show to see, and we felt that we needed a little more time for the people to roam the show and see all the exhibits.
Okay, and so what are the hours now?
it'll be 10 to 8 on Tuesday, and it'll be 9 to 3 on day 2. So the 19th will be 10 to 8, and then 9 to 3 on the 20th. That was something that we heard from the lighting community, where they felt that, you know, during the day is great, but some of them just have too much work to do and can't pull themselves away, but they understand the value of the show. So when we've been asked this for several years at this point, and so now, you know, we responded. So hopefully we get to see them there. That would be fantastic.
Sure. Well, you guys have always done a great, box lunch for the attendees. And then I think you publicly sponsored a party, right? Didn't LEDucation pay for that party?
Yes.
The lighted up party, correct.
Yes.
The light up party. Will that just kind of move into the hall now, or how will that work?
Yes, we are doing that this year.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it'll move out in front of all the exhibition areas. So because of the expanded show hours, it allows for a little bit more flexibility instead of just having a hard stop on the show, allowing people to socialize while others still get the opportunity to see the exhibitors and the vendors and such. I think it just offers a little bit more flexibility, and being that the party was approximately an hour, a couple hundred people showing up at the exact same time. I mean, it was great in years past, pre-COVID, when we used to have the band there and stuff like that. Now it's just more of we just felt, because of the way it was running the last couple of years, that just having it in the exhibition area basically achieves the same thing. Have a little social time with your colleagues and peers in the industry.
And I do think, it almost changes the tone a little bit to be kind of after hours, have a drink, have a bite to eat while you're talking about product and looking at product. It's more of a intimate discussion, I think, more of a relaxed discussion than you'd have during the business day.
Mm-hmm. True.
Okay, so guys, any idea on forecast attendance? Do you expect it to increase from last year?
Well, I expect 2024 to be a record year.
Okay.
And a record year for a number of reasons, but the main reason is, and we're starting to see it now, a lot of exhibitors or potential exhibitors or attendees all of a sudden have realized that there is no light fair in 2024. So all of a sudden we're getting calls for exhibitors to exhibit at our show. I think attendees are making plans to be at our show because next year in 2024, we're going to be the main show.
Oh,
and just to add to that point, Randy, is the idea that, these marketing funds that are there for what was an annual show, Light Fair, for years, being now that it's, missing a year, people have it in the budget. So now maybe they would have the opportunity to send, more people to an event like this when they normally wouldn't, right? When you had to make that choice between Light Fair and LEDucation, now, you can take the monies that were already allocated and just send someone to our show, to the LEDucation.
right. No doubt.
Mm-hmm.
You will benefit from that, I'm sure. Now, let's talk about exhibitors. Is the show sold out?
Yes.
Okay. And Burt, it's always sold out, correct?
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
you have a waiting list, so people are
Yes.
applying to be on the waiting list.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about the layout? I know there was this room upstairs that we took the escalator up, and I think you had a student competition up there, maybe.
That's correct.
Mm-hmm.
Will you use that room at all?
Yes.
How will the layout be?
Yeah, we tried 2 years ago. We used that room. Didn't work out very well for a number of reasons, but maybe it wasn't promoted properly. And this past year, it was an IES student competition program. But we need the room because we have so many exhibitors that want to be in the show that we're concentrating on that room, and that will be a centerpiece, and we'll be getting everybody up there.
Okay, so then we will have more exhibitors than we've had in the past because you do
That's
have that
correct.
space.
That's correct.
Correct.
We will have over 400 exhibitors this year.
Okay, over 400, and you have a waiting list.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Of about
Extensive.
100 manufacturers.
And is 400 the record? Will this be the most exhibitors
Yes.
you've ever had?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations on that. And then I assume you still will set up by rep,
Yes.
right?
sir.
And then the reps rotate the areas. Is that correct? So
Yes.
the same rep doesn't have the prime space every year.
That's correct.
I'd also like to, Randy, I'm glad that you said that, because I'd also like to take an opportunity to just say that, when the show was of a certain size, I've been involved, not at this level, but, with LEDucation for a while now. And every year that the show grows, I think it's gotten to the point now where there's some good locations, but I think for the most part, the fact that people are coming to see what's new, what's educational, that wherever you are at this point, people are going to find you, because we have such strong reps here in New York City that the word gets out relatively quickly, and it gets out there in a way that is very inviting to a lot of people. So wherever you are set up, and we make it rather easy for people to get to where they have to get to, I would say that at this point, there are some locations, that are good, but I wouldn't say that there's like the one prime and then the others, right? Everybody's going to have their place, and people are going to find the manufacturers that they want to see.
And Jamie,
No.
I would agree with that, because if you're making the effort to come to the show, okay, you are going to visit all the halls. I can't imagine somebody's only going to visit one hall. So I do think if they make the effort to go, they will spend time. But there are some prime spaces right by a door where people will want.
Well, let me expand on that just a little bit. There's a few years ago, we had an exhibitor who came to me complaining about his space. Why am I in this room? This is a horrible room. You screwed me. You put me in a bad spot. End of the show, he came up to me and said to me, "Can I have this spot again next year?"
Okay.
So there is no right spot or wrong spot. It's just a matter of you as the rep, having your customers come, letting them know where you're going to be, and that's pretty much it.
Okay. Can we speak a little bit about the education that you're going to offer at the show?
Sure. We're expanding the show to have virtual programs on Thursday and Friday prior to the show. And then we're going to have, obviously, programs at the show. Jamie, do you remember the number of?
I believe the number, including virtual, is 48.
And all of them will give CEUs, or most of them CEUs, do we know, or LEUs?
I believe they're all CEUs. That's a process that they're working on as we speak, just to get all of them. So they get, what do you figure, Bert, about 100 to 150 submissions? And then they have to go through that, and then they have to go through the ones that have to apply for the AIA credit, the CEU for the show itself.
And just to clarify, the virtuals are there for people who obviously just can't make it to the show. And in past years, we've had people from all over the world, amazing, from Europe, from Africa, from everywhere, Asia, sign up and participate in the virtual programs. Will
some of the virtual programs be repeated in person? Or are they totally separate tracks?
They're totally separate tracks.
Yeah, totally.
And am I correct? You've had about 150 submissions, and then your team is choosing 48.
Correct. Thereabouts. Yeah, I'm not part of the presentation committee. Just going by
Wendy and Craig Fox.
Would be Wendy, Craig Fox, and this year, Sean Fillion has joined the presentation committee.
I was at the Boston Light Show last month, and it was interesting as I walked around the show, the buzz about LEDucation. And a lot of the exhibitors that I talked to there, first thing as soon as I met with them, I'm looking forward to LEDucation. But it was amazing. It wasn't one or two. It was like large numbers of them. So that's another reason to go back to the beginning, why I think next year's show is going to be a bonanza. It's just going to be an incredible show.
Do you know attendance from the last show off the top of your head?
Approximately 8,000 people.
8,000, yep.
Do you have a goal for this year?
I'd like to see us exceed 10.
That's what I would like to see, yes.
Okay. Okay,
You know,
that's
Randy, that's part of, you know, when I was brought on board as the co-chair, and you know, I'd known Caroline 25 years in the industry, and then I've been working with the LEDucation crew for a while. You know, part of our job is to maintain this type of integrity for a show, right? It's very difficult to do, and that's the balancing act that we as a committee have, is to take a show where we want it to be educational. We want the people to come and get what they need from the manufacturers, give the manufacturers an opportunity to talk to the people who are specifying their projects. You know, being in New York City, we're doing it for the world, right? This isn't like we're just doing it for some guy down the block. We're doing these are specs that go all over the world. So the you know, the balancing act is, how do you allow this show to grow in a way that we keep that part of it intact? And that's why when you hear that we have 400 exhibitors and 100 people on a waiting list, you know, there's something to that says there's something special about the show, but something that we're responsible to maintain the integrity of it.
there is, Jamie, and so much of it is just the efficiency of the show.
Mm-hmm.
And with the size of the booths, it forces the manufacturers to kind of show their best products, their newest products,
Mm-hmm.
and not waste people's times. And so the lighting designer can get through everything fairly quick, because he doesn't have to look at 20 products from one manufacturer.
Mm-hmm.
He or she can go very quick through it. And I do think it's just probably the most perfect lighting show in the world is LEDucation.
Plus, it's clearly targeted to LEDs and lighting exclusively. I know some other shows have brought in products that are non-lighting or non-LED, but we are truly targeted. And obviously, since LEDucation 1, it's an LED show.
Yeah, it's a good point, because we see the car chargers now, EV chargers, you know, and
Yes.
all the other things that lighting designers could care less about.
They don't care.
The designer doesn't
Mhm.
care about an EV charger, but they do care about this. So, okay.
And I don't know if we said it already, and I apologize if I'm being redundant. But we are going to have another student competition.
Okay, don't tell me.
Yeah, so that'll be, Bert, if I'm not mistaken, that's day 1 at 4:30.
Yeah, it's in one of the other rooms. We have a separate
Yeah,
room.
it's in the room, I believe, where the lighted up party used to be, which was in the Trianon
Yes.
room. I forget exactly what it's called, but there will be a student competition. It will be around 4:30. So what that does is that gives people the opportunity to go to view it. And we need more of the young people with their ideas and creativity, because with these LEDs nowadays, there's really nothing you can't do. It's just do it well, do it creatively, and you know, keep that human touch. You know, Mark Roush used to say that all the time, right? Like, when we saw letting AI do lighting design, he says that then you're losing the best part, which is the human touch to lighting.
No doubt. Is it called the IES student competition?
To my knowledge, that's the name of it. Yeah.
I believe so,
the
but I would verify it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the other advantage too, and this is what we did last year, by having integrated the program into the LEDucation, we now have all these students coming, and it's free for them, so they get the opportunity to see LEDucation and all the products and all the manufacturers.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity for students, and
Yeah.
it just helps them to understand the business.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, men, anything else?
No, I think that's
I'll
All right.
default to Bert. He's the wise one in this group.
No,
Okay.
Jamie, happy to have you on board. I'm a big advocate of this show. I'm a big fan.
Yep.
And I know that you'll do a great job, and it'll just continue getting better.
Thank you.
and bigger. Yep.
And bigger. Onward and upward.
All right, man. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Randy, thank
Take
you.
care.
Have a great day.
Bye.
Thank you.
you.